The Possession of Elena Cruz. Disclaimer: the following story is a work of fiction inspired by real folklore and urban legends. It is not based on true events. Viewer discretion is advised. Part 1. The Girl from Calle Azucena. In the summer of 1954, something sinister stirred in the shadows of a recovering city. The war had ended, but something darker lingered in its ruins. This is the story the newspapers tried to forget. The story of Elena Cruz. She was just 16. Orphaned, homeless, a drifter in the back streets of Binondo. Locals often saw her digging through trash, sleeping beneath abandoned buildings. But on the night of July 17th, something changed. Witnesses claimed she was seen on Calle Azucena at 3 a.m. Barefoot, disheveled, clothes torn and stained with dirt and blood. Her mouth was frothing, her eyes rolled back, and she was muttering something, a language no one recognized. One tricycle driver said he thought she was high on something, but then she shouted a phrase in Latin and collapsed. The police were called. They found her convulsing in the gutter, clawing at the cobblestones, whispering names. Names of children that had gone missing that year, names of dead people. They tried to restrain her, but she screamed with such force that one officer fell backward. And yet, she was barely 50 kilos. And yet, she was barely 50 kilos. Filed a report, called it just another case of hysteria, and locked her inside the women's holding cell at the old city jail. But that night, things began to happen. The other inmates begged the guards to move her. They said she didn't sleep. She sat up straight the entire night, eyes wide open, staring into the dark corner of the cell. And then, just before dawn, she laughed, not like a girl, but like a man. A deep, guttural, mocking laugh that made the walls vibrate. The guards moved her to isolation. They figured it was mental illness, malnourishment, maybe drugs. She found no signs of substances, but when the jail doctor examined her, no head trauma, no fever, nothing. The next day, one of the guards quit. Guard, voice slightly shaking, "She knew my name, I never told her. She said my mother would die in 3 days." And she did. They reviewed the reports. Her fingerprints didn't match any known records. Her name, Elena Cruz, was the only thing she said clearly. Everything else was noise. Whispers. Growls. Latin phrases that no one could fully translate. And then they saw the footage. At 2:44 a.m., the camera outside her cell glitched. Then, briefly, her face appeared right up against the bars, but she never moved. The time code showed she hadn't left her bed. And yet her face had appeared on camera, from the other side of the room. No one had an explanation. Some called it mass hysteria, others said it was trauma. But one priest who heard about the case said something else. "Priest, when evil walks in plain sight, it hides behind madness." Whatever this was, it wasn't just psychological. It wasn't just another street case. Because that same night, 3 inmates in the neighboring cell had the exact same nightmare. Of a girl, opening her mouth and black smoke pouring out. 1 week later, the Vatican was contacted. But that is a story for tomorrow. This was just the beginning. If you want part 2, subscribe, follow, and like this video.